So again, hi everyone. My name is 𝐀𝐠𝐞𝐧𝐝𝐵. I'm employer brand specialist at Intellias. Glad you've joined us this evening and hope the information we are going to hear from Marta will be really useful for you. And while the rest of our participants are joining in, let's talk Intellias a little bit. So we are a technology enabler for the world's biggest companies and interesting projects, international clients, global representation, 7 development centers, and more than 500 open vacancies. That's what Intellias is about. We create unique software solutions for more than 2 billion people in the world with the help of 2,000 experienced specialists on board. And no matter how fast we grow, we always adhere to people-first approach. That's why Intellias is regularly recognized as the best employer according to Forbes, Dow, and other top ratings. So I invite you to visit our website, and who knows, maybe a career match will happen. Now, just a couple of technical issues. Please hold your microphone muted during the presentation. You can write your questions to the chat, and Marta will answer them during her speech or after the presentation and the Q&A section. That's all. Let's get started. I'd like to introduce our speaker, Marta Komarnytska, Delivery Manager at Intellias. Marta, glad to see you, and the word is yours.
Thank you, Alexandra. I'm really happy and really flattered that everyone is gathering in here. So let's start from the introduction. My name, as Alexandra already told, my name is Marta Komarnytska, and I am delivery manager in Intellias. For more than 6 years, I'm working as a project delivery manager, and I had an experience, and I have an experience with several world companies and projects together with all of their different teams. So today I hope that my experience will be helpful for you. I also want to apologize in advance if, for example, my video will cut off. This is because sometimes I have this problem with the internet. So I'm sorry, but this is not the main point to see me, but actually to talk. I just want to have a dialogue together with you. I want to talk about a topic that I'm going to present today, which is leadership and management. How to raise like a superstar and stellar team. So I guess, guys, I just want to have all of your reactions. Just write me whatever you want. So I hope that's at least something that I will tell today, that I will speak about today, will be useful for you. So as already, let's go to the next slide. As already Alexandra told, I'm working in Intellias, and Intellias is the best employer according to Dow and Forbes. And also I just want to say that actually it's not only because someone told that, but actually we have this focus in Intellias on, we are a very people-oriented company. That means that Intellias is really focused on to put efforts into our education, especially on the leadership, on the management, and on the people-oriented trainings, etc. So all of our managers are really, really people-oriented on this point of view. And I think that we need to talk about what I'm actually going to talk about today. So this is a few of the contents that that I'm going to cover today. We will talk about the difference between leadership and management. So anyone has thought on it, I just want to ask you to write in the chat what do you think actually differs leadership and management, because this is my next slide, and the few minutes that maybe few seconds that that I have before the next slide, just write me down in the chat and we will discuss it next one. Next one, also after when we will discuss the difference between leadership and management, we will go to the importance of the leadership and qualities of the leader. So this is kind of like the theme that we want, I want everyone also think about it, and just we have this discussion, and then we will find out actually who this leader is and what qualities should he have. Leadership styles, how to create a personal leadership brand, and what are new leadership styles currently is popular in the world. Also, what is authority versus leadership, and of course, leadership strategies, which leadership strategy to follow, and how to assess each itself to understand what kind of leader you are. Okay, so let's take 15 seconds and please write someone in the chat. What do you think the main difference between leadership and management? And I will see it here in the chat. Okay, I see that we do not have many active. Okay. Rashid Ibrahimov, yeah, correct. You wrote correctly. Let's move next. So our next slide is the difference between leadership and management is pretty easy. As said Rashad, leaders are ones who people followed by them. That's absolutely true. Because, for example, when we will talk about the manager and versus leader, we understand that fact that who's actually the leader is the one who asks questions all the time versus when manager gives direction. Just please, people don't think that, for example, I will see that manager is not good when leader is very good. No. We're talking about the fact, and today's my topic is focused on that point that, for example, when we have a manager and we have a leader, we actually want to be focused and try to merge these two into one. So understand actually how it works, how to create this persona that actually will be and manager and leader together. So to have the great results. Manager has subordinates, and it doesn't mean that leader does not have it, but actually, as our shadow already told, its leader has followers. So it's about mindset. For example, when you understand as a manager, you always put, okay, so this is my subordinates, and that's it. I give directions and they just need to do whatever I say. Leader actually has a little bit differs his mindset, and he understands that actually he has a followers, and that's where he moves, everyone, or he or she moves, everyone will go there and follow him or her for this lead. Also, manager holds authority when leader is motivational. I do not know, but from my actually experience, sometimes when we have, for example, tough time to deliver a project, we understand this point that actually it's not good to put your authority on. It's better to turn off your inner manager and just become a leader, a friend, a motivational speaker for the team, and just give them a speech. And actually, sometimes it helps, and even it gives them some wings, so they understand that they can actually, okay, no problem. Everyone believes in us. Everything is good, and we can move on. So in this part, we all understand that actually, especially when it's crisis, we need to turn on the leader, but not the manager. Next, manager tells you what to do when leader shows you how to do that. It's very easy to just tell, okay, so do it, and then come to the team. Especially, we have this all the time, especially as delivery managers, project managers. We know that client came to us, a customer, and they had a request, and we just need to fulfill this request. And we can come to the team and say, okay, so just do that, and that. It's actually not a bad approach, but we can do it a little bit better. That means that you actually can do Do it together. For example, I had an assignment to understand the whole scope that we actually need to deliver for my customer. I could just say to my business analysis team, so, okay, guys, you just need to write me the scope, please analyze it, and please put all of the links to the task, etc. But I did not do that. I actually came to them and we sat together and we started to do this assignment together, because it's better for me as a manager. I will understand how actually works this or this flow, and for them as a leader, I will understand my team will be supported by me, and they will understand that actually I can show them how to move into that direction. So my recommendation is just always remember that and always use this in your own sake. Manager has good ideas and leader actions good ideas. This is actually really fun, because sometimes leaders do not want to use their own ideas, but actually to use ideas of a team. So, this is kind of like a result. When you motivate people to do whatever you want to turn on their creativity, then they starting to produce good ideas. And it's like, and this is magic. So works just magically. In this point, you always need to remember about that, and because when team is relaxed with you, especially when you have this leadership approach, not more managerial like manager, but more leader, they are very relaxed near you, and they are not afraid to share their ideas. So what the good leader does, he actually takes these ideas and starts them to use in different approaches. Manager always reacts to change when leader makes changes and creates changes. This is from my experience, I can say that when you're not so into the project, for example, when you have more stuff to do and etc. In the work, for example, you have several projects, etc., or you have several products, the product manager, etc., you can react on the process changes, yes. But when you're a leader, you actually know, you have this helicopter view, and you know how to create changes, what needs to be changed in order to work better. So good leaders really create changes. This is one of the most important things here. Manager tries to be a hero when the leader makes heroes. It's again, manager and leader, they have team. And we always need to understand that everyone will understand that the team is great and that the manager or the leader is great if his team or her team will be great. So this is like a win-win situation, yes? We need to understand that we need to motivate our people to become heroes, to become superstars in order to have great positive results in the future. So this is very important, because we do not need to focus on ourselves. And this point is like our profession to understand that actually we need to focus on the team. Then it's going to be a very fruitful cooperation. Manager exercise power when leader develops power. That's true. This is actually like summing up everything that I told earlier. It's truly like that. We need to remember that we never need to show the power to anyone. We just need to focus on our team and understand them and ask them about what they actually want, what they think is better, etc. And in such a way, you will actually show that you can help them to create some ideas, they can be motivated, they create really cool ideas and great ideas, and you as a leader, you just move with it and show that you actually can take all of this, merge into something and bring the result. So this is, as a leader, we need to remember that and always try to use it. Okay, Yulia Mama, just will write, I will read a little bit from the chat because I think it's very interesting ideas in here. Management lead the people. Leadership is a person who shows better result than others. Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely true, because leader is the one who actually shows the results by using a little bit different approaches. Why should be versus why manager can be a leader is more about position approach. Correct. That's what I said at the beginning. We do not need to do it like the divided, but we actually can always merge these two professions, or it's like one is profession and second one is your mindset. We can actually merge it together and create the best person, the best manager that will motivate and direct people together all in one. Leadership is one of the responsibilities of great manager. Correct, absolutely, Oksana wrote. Management is about directional approach and leadership is about following team's will. Vitaly, manager works in the organization, leader for the organization. Okay, I see that we have everyone is really cool in public today, so we will talk more, and I like it a lot. So please just continue to write your thoughts into the chat, so we can discuss it a little bit more. Yes. Okay. So let's go next to the next slide. Next slide is about a difference between leadership and management. I just wanted also to continue that. In some point of view, we need to always understand that, for example, we have this point as counting value versus creating value. Sometimes, you know, this situation when, for example, let's take this trivial example. If you will ask for a report every hour, you will just distracting your teammate, your team member. So in this case, when, for example, you have this micromanagement approach, you will just subtract in value. So you will not create the value as a manager. And here we can see that by contrast, leader focuses on creative value, saying, I'd like you to handle A while I deal with the B. So leader actually generates value over and about that which the team creates. So every leader actually needs to focus on this part and understand that actually we need to create value, and our customer needs value, and our service needs to be valued. So this is why this is like the main idea of the leadership and the management, because currently we have this statistically speaking, we have this like stereotype that leader is like the good guy when the manager is not, but actually this is changing a lot. Right now everyone is takes all of the trainings, etc., to become great managers and include leadership into their account. And next one is that manager circles of influence, just as managers have subordinates and leaders have followers, manager creates circles of power while leaders create circles of influence. The quickest way to figure out which of the two of you you're doing is count the number of people outside your reporting branch who come to you for your advice. The more that do, the more likely is that you're perceived to be a leader. How many of people that you know from your company, for example, from the previous project that you worked for, they just came coming to you for an advice. If they coming to you, if they asking you for help, that means that actually you're a great, successful manager and leader altogether. Because sometimes it's very easy to just take this approach. Okay, so I'm a manager, and turn off the part of leadership in yourself. So this is like the question to yourself. What we need to understand from today is that all of us just time to time turn off the leader and just turn on the manager. And sometimes we turn off the leader, but turn on the leader, but turn off the manager. So we need to mix it up together and sometimes ask ourselves how right now I'm working. Also, leading people versus managing work. Management consists of controlling a group or set of entities to accomplish a goal. Leadership refers to an individual's ability to influence, motivate, enable others to contribute toward organizational success. Influence and inspiration separate leaders from manager, not power and control. That's actually also one of my favorite parts, because it's very hard to earn this influence and inspiration for the leader. For example, for a manager from the team, you need to earn your trust. You need to understand that actually I always working with the great guys, and they always see me like from the first. They do not know what to expect from me, and what I know that I need to earn their trust. I need to show them results of my work. Sometimes I need to save them, or sometimes I just need to be their cover shield from anything that can come to them, and just help them. And my favorite phrase whenever I start working with any team, it's just, how may I help you? This is just like very organic for me. Every time I ask anyone on every stand up, etc., I just ask them, how can I help you? And but first people do not understand that, but then they starting to get used to it, and just, okay, can you help me with that? And when you have so many requests, that it's starting from one request, and then it can be 10 requests. But if you can help them with that in professional way, I mean, to handle that situation and actually cover that for them, they will be remembering it's very good, and they will know that this manager, leader actually understand them and actually can help them. Okay, let's go next. What are leadership skills? Maybe perhaps you can say right now in the chat for a minute, accept what you see right now. Yes, on my slide, because I think it's pretty good. But from your perspective, from your experience, what do you think are not trivial, not standard leadership skills? Just give you like 10 seconds to think, and then we'll start. Yeah, I see. Rashad wrote the first one, pass vision to the team and help teammates achieve their goals. Perfect. Yeah. Who has other ideas? Proactivity. Correct, Christine. Rahina, ability to remove impediments. Correct. Have to see over the hill. Yeah. How many situations do you think when it's better to use your leadership skills, on which situation? Create the future, ability to plan ahead. Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Yes, leadership skills are the skills when you use organizing other people to reach a shared goal. Yes, whatever you're in management position or leading a project, leadership skills require you to motivate others to complete a series of tasks, often according to a schedule. And yeah, everyone we are working in IT, we work on projects, we all have this deadline, this awful word deadline. Yes, so we need to find out the way how to motivate people in this way so they will accomplish the goal. Leadership is not just one skill, but a rather a combination of several different skills working together. This is just some example. When you give effective feedback, when you have empathy, timely communication, team building, flexibility, risk-taking, patience, actually, creativity. Alexander wrote, ability to take responsibility for your team's actions. Yep, absolutely, and for failures, because who always, leader is the one who takes responsibility. This is just the perfect description. Sell the ideas, not making orders. Yep, absolutely. Correct. We need to also know how to teach and mentor, and sometimes we need to be coaches for them. We actually risk-taking managers, leaders / leaders. I will not separate it from this slide and so on. And next to the next slides, I will not separate those two roles, because actually for me this is one role. Whenever you become a manager, you become a leader, and you just need to, sometimes you need to fulfill all of your roles in one. And yeah, dependability also, creativity, positivity, reliability, all of this is very important. For example, we need to understand that, first of all, we just need to be effective leaders. And effective leaders are essential to any organization. They can help build strong teams within the business and ensure project, initiatives, or other work functions are performed successfully. Good leaders have strong interpersonal and communicational skills. And anyone can become one by learning how to exercise and hone leadership abilities. Most people have seen the result of both effective and effective leaders on their job. Good leaders increase employee engagement. You know that by yourself. For example, if you just turn on your active listening, you will understand when your teammate will burn out. You will understand what actually, when someone is not happy, you will understand what are the risks on the project, and you will just help them to prevent them. So we need to understand that on this part, and good leadership is contagious. It's inspiring colleagues. It's try to apply positive leadership traits in your work in everything situation. For me, I also just wanted to ask you, whatever you had on your practice, on your experience, maybe some of the skills that you think that are the top for them in your work for the leader. What are the top? For me, I just highlighted top 6 leadership skills. For me, it's decisiveness, because effective leaders are those who can make decisions quickly with the information they have. It's so many times when the team leader or tech leader just came to me and gave me all of the information, and I did not know what to do actually on that point, but I needed to have a decision, and quickly for them, because they need to know that they actually can point on me, they can follow me in this, and this is what is very important for me. So when you become more familiar with your specific industry, you will be able to make decision much more faster, even when you don't have all of the necessary information. At the beginning at my career, I was like, oh my God, I do not know what I'm doing. But right now, it's kind of much easier, not easy. I hope that someday it will. But right now, I know that sometimes I can, okay, we need to do that, and that, and this works for me fine. So this is very valuable for me, leadership skill, because it helps move projects along faster and improve your efficiency. Effective decisiveness requires, of course, research, your own study. You need to know how to evaluate this problem. You need to problem solving and goal setting skills. You should be able to prove from your experience, to understand that how it works, for example, by analogy in the previous projects. And you need to be confident in the taking responsibility for the result, because right now you took a risk. For example, if you do not know this subject of matter for 100%, and then you just move with it, and you need to be sure that you are not afraid of taking risks. So key skills related to being a strong leader through decisiveness include problem solving, initiative, research, evaluation, expectation settings. Yes, they wear many hats. To be accountable and do their, I'm just reading the chat. Sell the idea. Yeah, guys, I have just amazing auditory right now here. Next one, I think, is the one is really one of the top. The second one is integrity. So integrity includes in itself diplomatic skills, ethical, reliability, professionalism, confidentiality, and honest. So kind of like pretty good soft skills set for really cool manager / leader. Integrity is often seen as just truthfulness or honesty, but in many cases, it also means having and standing by a set of strong values. Integrity in the workplace means being able to make ethical choices and helping the company maintain a positive image. In Intellias, we always focuses on the people. We always focuses on the perfect delivery. Customers is very important for us. This is our main goal, and we always try to maintain this picture and maintain this the best service that we can do. So that is why integrity is the second one. The second top skill that works for me. All businesses seek to hire workers who have strong sense of integrity. That's absolutely true. And you actually, when you have this skill, when you have this type of mindset, you actually won't have any problems to find a great, to build a great career in your life. And why it's cool to have such a leader that has integrity is not only encourage the most truthful and fair practice and outcome, but also sends a strong and positive example to your team. Because when you know that you have a leader that's actually honest, that actually reliable, that you can rely on, and that you can tell what anything in the world and it will be confidential and no one will use it against you, it's you feel pretty safe. And when people feel safe, they do not want to change place of work. They actually are very loyal, and they understand that here in this situation, someone will help them or take care of them, and they will have a way of work that just fits them for 100%. So in this part, we all understand that whenever you have a team, you just have a great responsibility on your hands, and you just need to take care of your team because it's your team. They company actually trust you with them, trust you with the delivery, trust you with the project, customer trust you. So this is great responsibility, and with great responsibility comes great values and power and etc. And we need to use it wisely. Okay, let's go next. The third one is relationship building. or team building, we all understand that not only is the team building, okay, let's go to a party, but actually managers, leaders, they are the glue to the team. We need to maintain and build strong and collaborative team, because we need to understand that, yeah, every team goes from storming to norming to performing in the classical project management way. But sometimes with the help of a manager and with the great leadership skills, we actually can go from storming to performing very quickly. We just need to maintain a relationship with the team, to have one-to-ones, to call them just in case, just to talk, just to ask them how they doing, to show them, for example, from my, I had a new team, and they were all sat together. They did not want, I think, a new manager. They were not interested in that, but here I come. So here I am. And I saw that some of them have cats, and I have a cat. So of course, on the next retrospective call, we all were with cameras, and I just took my cat with me. And actually, this helped me to maintain a good positive vibe inside of the team. They understood that I did not come to control them or micromanage them, etc. I just here to help them whenever I can and with whatever I can. And sometimes these tricks can help you to create really cool perspective, to create really cool relationships, to understand that, okay, we all friends here, we all work together, and we all work for one goal. So that means that I will not be distracting you, etc. I will just be helping you. So this is very important. And when you understand each other, you will benefit from it, because you will be able to assess trends, delegate tasks, and complete your goals more seamlessly. You know that, for example, someone in your team, whenever you speak with them really honest, you really will know that, for example, someone really likes to perform some of the assessments, etc. And of course, you will delegate this task to this person in your team, or someone likes to create beautiful presentation. Okay, no problem. Let's do it. Not to take all of the hats on my head as a manager, but let's share some of the functions together to really be a team. So this is actually very social communication and the teamwork part. You actually need to be an active listener. Sometimes, sometimes developers can have problems that are very, very easy to solve as a manager. And all you need is just to listen. I had an experience where I had one stand up, and one of my guys just I heard that he was really grumpy. I did not know why. Everything was good, actually, and I just called him because it's already started lockdown, and I couldn't see him. I couldn't just took him to a coffee in the kitchen. So I just asked him. We called him and asked him what's happening. Is everything okay? What's going on? And yeah, he answered me what he doesn't like, what actually he thinks, and what he just needed a good feedback. So I gave him this feedback. I asked the feedback from the teammates, and everything was fine. So just listen, please listen all the time, because in listening, this is gold. Next one is problem solving. Yeah, it's our specialty. Managers need to solve problems, any issues with anything that came up. So effective problem solving often requires staying calm and a defined step-by-step solution. To find out an RCA and root cause analysis, it's all the time. We need to make quick decision. We need to resolve obstacles with our team and external team, and we need to ensure that projects are completed on time according to the specifications. effective problem solving requires good night's sleep, Rashad. Absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Nikita, leaders are able to create relationships friendly, sometimes fun and light environment, at the same time achieving serious results. Managers are able to do it also. Yes, that is why, as I said earlier, we're not saying that leaders and managers are separate, because we do not have such a position like just the leader. Yes, we have, of course, we have like team lead and etc. But I mean, manager is a leader, and we just need to raise this in our we just need to raise all of the skills of leadership in ourselves, and we need to understand that actually managers are doing a great job by analytics, by calculation, etc. But we also need to improve ourselves sometimes with all of these leadership skills, and this is what makes great managers. And this is what creates great teams, and just like superstar teams, because everything starts from a manager or leader, and then it ends up with the team and the results. Because everyone knows that if the team succeeded, it's because of the great leader or manager. Very few I know teams that actually go managers but manager cannot be great without the team. So this is a very, very, very common thing, and we need to understand it very well. So leaders who are effective problem solvers, they need to have critical thinking, analytical skills, research, and decisiveness. As I already told us, we need to be proactive in our decision making. We need to have analytical skills. We need to know. We need to have great hard skills, because when you have a hard skills, for example, yeah, most of us works with Jira, so we need to understand how actually Jira works. We need to understand what the task we can perform there, how many statistics we can take from the Jira, and we just need to be good at our work, and we always need to work on our soft skill part, which is leadership skills, because leadership skills actually changing all the time, because we can develop it as much as possible in this part. Yeah, but as I said earlier, we never start the good manager, the good professional, the good leader, he or she never stops learning, because it's very important. We always need to break all of these walls, and we always need to learn. We always need to learn something new, study something new, and push our limits, because in this world that change so fast. We just need to change accordingly. Next one is dependability. So being a dependable leader means that people can trust you and rely on you. A dependable person follows through on plans and keeps promises. This is very important. The strong relationships built by dependable leader create a resilient team that can work through difficulties that may arise. Being a dependable professional means meeting deadlines, being straightforward, coming through on obligation, and when you can't meet a promise, all communicating this early on and having a backup plan. Dependable leaders have, as I light up, following skills: realistic goal setting, integrity, timeliness, initiative, detail-oriented, loyal, and truthfulness. One moment, I will read the chat. Well, we can rephrase is as a formal leadership versus informal. Yeah, true. Manager doesn't have to create a relationship, but it's a direct indicator of leadership. Correct. Bad manager doesn't have to create a relationship. Yeah, correct. Guys, I absolutely agree with you. So I actually do not know, or I know that teams with the bad manager are actually suffering, so they are not open all of their potential. And you know, from your so glad, Marta, you agree with everything. No, if you want to, we can discuss it later, but well, you actually are telling the truth, so that is why I'm agree with you. But if we will just remember some cases from your experience, who works in the project management, etc. You know this part that whenever the team has a really poor manager, it's not performing well. Because the team cannot actually work without the manager. So whenever manager not interested into the team, not interested into the details, he's not initiative, or he's not putting a realistic goal settings for the team, it's actually not working for the team. So in this part, whenever the manager is not dependable, you cannot say that the team will be performing well. Our result, what we are working for, we are working for the result, we're working for the goal. So if we want to achieve some goals, we need to have a great team that will work perfectly, that will have understanding inside, have understanding inside of the team, that actually will work together and know that the teammates can rely on each other. But whenever we do not point this out, and we don't have a dependability as part of our skill set of a leader, of a manager, we won't be able to reach a really great team. So we always need to take this into account, because in a bad way we will have really not top performer team, but our interest is actually to have a top performer team. Next, HR manager and stakeholder management are direct responsibility of a manager. So this is also about building relationships. However, okay, so I think that we having a discussion into the chat. So this is great, guys. Continue, please, that, and we will look into it on the next part. I also wanted to point it out. One of the favorite skills is actually to be able to teach or mentor my team and help them whatever I can. Because this is one skill that differentiates the leadership from many other competencies. Because whenever you're able to teach and mentor, this means that you can help people to grow. Effectively, teaching colleagues or direct reports to grow in their careers helps the whole organization scale. Often the skill requires leaders to think less about themselves and more about how to make their team as a whole successful. To be successful as a leader that can teach and mentor a team, you might hone the following related skills. It's motivation, it's clarity, it's able to recognize and reward, it's understanding employee differences, it's assessing, it's helpfulness and positive reinforcement. As I already told, I use motivation as sometimes it's even speech. Sometimes it's even motivational speech, especially when you understand that, okay, so we have a strict deadline, and we understand that actually it's very hard to meet this deadline, but we need to do that. And sometimes you just need to talk with your people to understand, to explain that actually it's okay, we can work this out, we can find out the way, I believe in you, etc. And actually it helps, and it helps people start believing in themselves and believe in you. And it's motivation never, you can see it's from a lot of examples from for example, from the sport. I actually, this report was made on the analytical skill and statistics from the sport. So because I always was interested in how they raise the superstar team, how they do that. If we take, for example, football, yes, we take Real Madrid. This is my favorite team, and actually they have a team of the superstars. So I always will listen to all of the interviews and etc. How their managers, how their leaders talk, and I just always very interested in that. So we always need to recognize and reward our teammates. This is the golden rule. when someone does something good from your team, you always need to recognize and reward them in front of everyone. When someone does something bad, you never talk that he or she did something bad in front of everyone. You just talk with them one-to-one and ask them what can be improved so to avoid this situation in the future. Okay, of course, helpfulness and positive reinforcement, and this is not my slide, I think. Yeah, okay, let's go to the next question to all. How do you motivate your team by any practical examples? Okay, one small okay, one small example from my experience. We had the situation when the person, actually my teammate, he already had like 10 or 15 years. Change to the actually architect. I asked him, everyone knows that you're an architect. What do you mean? He said, in the HR system, it's not written. So it took me a day to change this. And when I asked him how he feels right now, when everyone sees that he actually architect, he said, I am very happy. I am really glad. And I like it. Thank you very much. You resolved the problem that actually I had. So see, this is just a simple example of the active listening, of the motivation that I gave the person. He wanted to try so everyone would know that he's an architect, and I just helped him with it. Perhaps someone has other examples? Okay, let's go next. How to define your leadership style. Everyone needs to understand that we need to assess ourselves to understand what our leadership style is. So while you will use different styles of leadership for different occasions, identifying your leadership style can help you refine specific skills that will be effective for you, for your team or the project. You might use your team or project goals to help identify what leadership styles will be most effective for you. This is what important because in Intellias we always have this. We have various trainings and courses and workshops inside the company and outside also. My recommendation also research leadership courses and find leadership activities outside of work. This is kind of like a recommendation just to find out the basic knowledge. Whenever you will have the basic knowledge, you will know how to actually go into deeper, and you will know what to work on. All of the different leadership styles actually work. Sorry, I'm just forgetting sometimes English words. My apologies for that. So because all of the different leadership styles helps you to, as I said, not only identify how to work with your team and in your organization, but also to define the best solutions into the future. But right now I just wanted to talk with you about two new styles that actually are pretty new in the market. it's discussed into the Harvard Business Reviews and in Stanford Business Schools. I think that you might know about it. These two leadership styles, which I refer to as dominance and as prestigious. Respectively, this reflects two fundamental strategies people use to navigate their way through social and organizational hierarchies. Leading through dominance means influencing others by being assertive and leveraging one's power and formal authority. Leading through the prestige means displaying one's knowledge and expertise and encouraging others to follow. In the case of dominance, employees usually have little choice but to follow the leader. When it comes to prestige, deference to leader is more negotiable. Dominant leaders achieve their goals by asserting their roles as boss, by directing people with the bonuses and promotions and coercing people with the threat of punishment. In a meeting, they do most of the talking and may even lower the pitch of their voice so everybody will listen to them. Dominant leaders crave power because power allows them to make decisions knowing that their subordinates will fall in line. As one former Apple employee said above Steve Jobs, a paradigmatic example of a dominant leader. When Steve was pissed off about something, it got fixed at a pace I've never seen. People reacted that fast of a fear. Prestige, in contrast, means influencing others by displaying signs of wisdom and expertise, and then being a role model. Prestige allows people to influence others even in the absence of formal authority or power. Prestigious leaders enjoy being respected and admired, but they aren't as interested as dominant leaders are in having power or always getting their way. Indeed, prestige-oriented leaders often allow others to set the course while subtly directing people from behind. Neither strategy is necessarily better than other. Some leadership situations call for dominance, whereas others call for prestige. Being maximally effective as a leader means being able to diagnose the situation and adopt the leadership approach that works best for you. Switching back and forth between the two approaches depends on the task and hence on the organizational culture that you work in. So let's talk about which situation calls for dominant leadership. Dominance works best when the leader's job is to get everyone aligned quickly and moving in the same direction. When a company has a clear strategy for a few product launch, for example, a leader needs to provide firm directives to get, for example, marketing, distribution, and salespeople working together and moving in one direction. When there is a clear vision and the challenges is getting your team to enact that vision, dominance is an effective way to create an unfilled front. When facing tight deadlines, dominance is needed to generate rapid and well-coordinated responses. And during times of organizational crisis or changes, dominance may be needed to manage various stakeholders with opposing viewpoints. This is when we need to step out and say, okay, we're doing it in the directive way. Such situations often call for leaders to make strong executive decisions without actually worrying too much about whether someone might get offended. Because sometimes I have this also point that I'm actually making a call and it can make someone angry or offended. And in organizational cultures marked by a clear and chain of command in which leaders are expected to give orders and employees are expected to follow them, dominance also fits well. That's why whenever I just wrote or talked about that, it's just an idea of army, yes, but sometimes we need to be an army. But the problem with the dominance, of course, is that many people don't enjoy being ordered around. Some people just getting burned out when they bossy around. So dominant leaders tend not to be liked very much, and their leadership style can undermine relationships with colleagues and subordinates. You know that. In research I've conducted with colleagues, we have found that dominant leaders are also easily threatened by other talented team members who might be in a position to outshine the leader. As a consequence, what appears to be a rising star on the team, dominant leaders sometimes try to suppress that person by tracing them, closely monitoring them to make sure they don't get out of line and preventing them from forming close friendships with other team members. And to lead effectively, dominant leaders should try to harness their egos and overcome the relationship difficulties that often result from their dominant leadership style. And in the end, you just don't want to be the one in the team building that no one talks to. Because yeah, we all have New Year party, and whenever you're alone and nobody wants to talk to you, it's a problem, I think. So yet considering other perspectives can help us to understand what motivates employees and makes them feel valued. And we need to understand how to identify when others are frustrated with our management style. But we also need to know what situation are called for the prestige. Prestige works better when the leader is trying to empower his or her subordinates. For example, if marketing team is charged with creating an innovation, new advertising campaign, for example, a prestigious leader can release the constraints on team members and encourage them to think outside the box. This doesn't necessarily mean being less hands-on, but it actually means being less directive. Rather than mandating their own vision as dominant leaders typically do, prestige-oriented leaders instead facilitate the team's vision by encouraging team members, by actively discuss their ideas, by synthesizing their contribution into a coherent strategy. Prestigious leaders provide essential contributions to idea generating and decision-making processes, but at the same time, they listen to and incorporate input from others. So listening is as important as talking for prestigious leaders. This creates a safe environment where team member feels respected and free to innovate and generate creative solutions. Prestige works well in organizational structures and cultures marked by relatively elitarian relationships among co-workers, in which people at all levels of all organizations are used to having their viewpoints heard and respected. This is like the theory of the open market and closed market companies. The more leaders cared about prestige, the more they tended to make the popular choice. And this is actually the minus of it, because you just want to be popular with everyone, but you need to stay focused on the point that we do not need that point. And this is one from the minuses. And what I would go next, just not to take too much of your time, I will officially recommend to you this book, Personal Organizational Transformation. It includes all of the trainings and assessments for leadership, all of the techniques and practices. So you can try many various options and try it with your team, just for yourself. So my 100% recommendation for this. If we will go back and closing up this idea of these two new types that actually have all of these types together, we will have two classical leadership styles, which is democratic, autocratic, laissez-faire, strategic, transformational, transactional, coach style, and bureaucratic leadership. Can somebody write me what is transactional and what is bureaucratic leadership, just for your what your ideas on it? Okay, sorry, just a few words of each of them. So democratic leadership is very is widely used one, and it's very understandable. So democratic leadership is exactly what it sounds like. The leader makes decision based on the input of each team member. Yes, also he or she makes the final call. Each employee has an equal say on the project direction. Actually, democratic leadership is one of the most important and one of the most effective leadership styles, because it allows lower level employees to exercise authority together with you. Autocratic leadership, it's rarely effective from my point of view, because autocratic leadership is inverse of democratic, and it stands for everything for everything that democratic is against on. In this leadership style, the leader makes all of the decisions without talking to the team and without even taking input from anyone who reports to them. So no employees either considered nor consulted prior to a change in direction, and are expected to adhere to the decision at a time and pace stipulated by the leader. Just an example of this could be when the manager changes the hours of work shifts and for multiple employees without consulting anyone, or when I just decided, okay, you will be having overtimes 3 weeks in a row. So this is not okay, yes, but in autocratic leadership, it's actually a waste. But frankly, for me, this leadership style stinks. Most organizations today can sustain such awful culture without losing employees. It's best to keep leadership more open to the intellect and perspective of the rest of the team. But actually, I had an experience to working in the under autocratic leadership, and it's awful. Next one is Lucia for real leadership. Sorry for my pronunciation in French, but sometimes it's effective. It's kind of when you give a choice from two choices. You gave two options and said, okay, team, you just choose this, whatever you like to. You can use it also together, but as I said earlier, the great leader uses all of the styles of leadership all together. So sometimes we need to be autocratic, yes. Sometimes we need to be democratic. Sometimes we need to give them choices to choose whatever they want to, like in Matrix now, choose what pill he wants. Because this style of leadership used whenever you as a leader wants to be focused on something more, on some other things, and you just give the team decision making choice and they just choosing it. Okay, the strategic leadership, it's commonly effective because strategic leaders sit in the intersection between a company main operation and its growth opportunities. He or she accepts the burden of executive interest while ensuring that current working conditions remain stable for everyone else. This is desirable leadership style in many companies because strategic thinking supports multiple types of employees at once. However, leaders who operate this way can set a dangerous precedent with respect to how many people they can support at once and what the best direction for the company really, if everyone is getting their way at all times. We cannot do it all the time. So transformational leadership is always transforming and improving upon the company conventions. Employees might have a basic set of tasks and goals that they complete every week or month, but the leader is constantly pushing them outside of their comfort zone. It's like in Scrum. Yes, we have this one velocity and we always trying to do it better. Yes, we always trying to take more into the next sprint, so we will have bigger velocity. So this is transformational leadership. Transactional leadership, it's sometimes effective because transactional leaders are fairly common today. These managers reward the employees for precisely the work they do. A marketing team that receives a scheduled bonus for helping generate a certain number of leads by the end of the quarter is a common example of transactional leadership. When starting a job with the transactional boss, you might receive an incentive plan that motivates you to quickly master your regular job duties. For example, if you work in the marketing, you might receive a bonus for sending 10 marketing emails. On the other hand, a transformational leader might only offer you a bonus if your work results in a large number of newsletter subscription. Coach style leadership. Coach style leadership commonly effective. Similar to a sports team coach, this leader focuses on identifying and nurturing the individual strengths of each member of his or her team. This also focuses on strategies that will enable their team to work better together. This style offers strong similarities to strategic and democratic leadership, but puts more emphasis on the growth and success of the individual employees. Rather than forcing all of employees to focus on similar skills and goals, this leader might build a team where each employee has an area of expertise or skill set in something different. In the long run, this leader focuses on creating strong teams that can communicate well and embrace each other's unique skill set in order to get work done. Bureaucratic leadership. Stick to the instruction, wrote Kirill. Transactional leadership challenge without strategy. Bureaucratic, yes, strict to instruction and or other words, go by the books. This style of leadership might listen and consider the input of employees, unlike autocratic leadership, but the leader tends to reject an employee's input if it conflicts with the company policy or past practices. You may run into a bureaucratic leader at the larger, older, traditional companies. At these companies, when a colleague or employee proposes a strong strategy that seems new or non-traditional, bureaucratic leaders may reject it. Their resistance might be because the company has already been successful with the current processes, and trying something new could waste time or resources if it doesn't work. Employees under this leadership style might not feel as controlled as they would under autocratic leadership, but there's still a lack of freedom in how much people are able to do in their roles. And it's definitely not encouraged for companies who are chasing ambitious goals and quick growth. So not recommended. Next one. What I would want to focus on also to understand all of yourself, to understand you as a manager, you need to assess yourself. You need to go through the assessment. So leaders can carry mix of the above leadership styles, depending on the industry and the obstacle they face. At the root of these styles, you need to understand what actually your style is. You need, just here, this is the small exercise. We need to understand that, for example, there are different styles that's actually showed in the book that was on the previous slide. And here are some part of the styles when you make an assessment for yourself. So here we have individualist. This is this self-aware, creative, and primarily focused on their own action and development, and as opposed to overall organizational performance. This action logic is exceptionally driven by the desire to exceed personal goals and constantly improve their skills. So here are some things that an individualist might say. Number one, a good leader should always trust their own intuition over established organizational processes. Sounds absolutely okay. But if there is a good results from it or bad, we do not know. We just need to understand that in the perspective. Also, it can he or she can say it's important to be able to relate to others, so I can easily communicate complex ideas to them. Also, I'm more comfortable with the progress than sustained success. Strategists are actively aware of the environments in which they operate. They have a deep understanding of the structures and processes, and they make the business tick, but they also be able to consider these frameworks critically and evaluate what could be improved. So here's some strategies might say, a good leader should always be able to build a consensus into divided groups, or conflicts is inevitable, but I'm knowledgeable enough about my team's personal and professional relationships to handle the friction. If you will find yourself in some of this, just ping me, write me, so we will talk more about it. So the third one is alchemist. For example, a good leader helps their employees reach their highest potential and possesses the necessary empathy and moral awareness to get there. This is charismatic action logic and most highly evolved and effective as managing organizational changes. What distinguishes alchemists from other action logics is their unique ability to see the big picture in everything. They have a helicopter view on everything, but also fully understand the need to take details seriously. So under an alchemist leader, no department or employee is overlooked. So alchemist will say, I have a unique ability to balance short-term needs and long-term goals. It's kind of like a magician. First one is opportunists. Opportunists are guided by a certain level of mistrust of others, relying on a facade of control to keep their employees in line. So opportunists tend to regard their bad behavior as legitimate in the cut of the trust of an eye-on-eye world. Here's some characteristics of the opportunities. For example, I reserve the right to reject the input of those who question or criticize my ideas. Just let's be honest, some of everyone can be a little bit an opportunist or alchemist altogether. Diplomats. Unlike the opportunists, then diplomats is in concert with competition or assuming control over situation. Instead, this action logic seems to cause minimal impact on their organization by confronting to existing norms and completing their daily task with as little friction as possible. So, for example, a good leader should always resist change, since it risks causing instability among their direct reports. Or it's important to provide social glue in team situations safely away from conflict. It's a very safe position, I would say. And also, for me, I also like experts part, because the expert is a pro in their given field, constantly striving to prefer the knowledge of subject and perform to meet their own high expectation. We can say the expert as a talented individual contributor as a source of knowledge for the team, but this action logic does lack something central to many good leaders. For example, this characteristic can be a good leader should prioritize their own pursuit of knowledge over the needs of the organization and their direct reports. Or when problem solving with others in the company, my opinion tends to be the correct one. What do you think? What's leader style do you have, or you could try, or maybe perhaps? I just want to say that all of this are altogether we have few styles, and it's absolutely normal. Just to, whenever you know your leadership style, you just need to, whenever you know what the leader you are, we can start moving to this part when we can understand how we need to have, how to raise a really great team. Among all of that already was said, we also need to have some, here is my few ideas that I statistically took from different sources, as from the sports team recommendation also, and from my experience, and I merged them into here. So we just need to understand that, for example, that we need to have a superstar team, but not the team full of superstars. So not every superstar should lead. Just like in the sport, superstar talent can be selfish and difficult to coach. Well gifted, these kinds of superstars tend to be me-focused, not team-focused. Me-focused superstars are not your leaders. For them, leading their organization to victory takes a backseat to generating controversy and shifting the spotlight onto themselves. So when managing this type of talent, let them do their thing. Just let them be a superstar, but keep them out of the general population because they can demotivate less talented players, team players, and hurt team performance. We all have seen this scenario when high-performing coworker gets promoted to a leadership position and then lacks the skill to manage a team. This is an example of not every superstar can lead. It should be avoided at all costs with an organization that is striving for excellence. We also let the driven drive, because one quality of a superstar talent is drive. Superstar wants to excel, must have little patience for those who don't share the interest. So let the driven drive the team. The first for victory and the excellence will encourage others to strive and achieve. Let the discipline. The business world works in self-governing way. Business superstars have little tolerance for the shoddy works of others. Colleagues that don't live up to expectation will quickly learn from the superstars in their team that their mediocrity is not appreciated, and they will be encouraged to shape up this out. Self-discipline is another trait of the superstar. Superstar talent knows what it takes to stay on the top of their game. Not only will their example move others to do what must be done to become similarly accomplished, but when encouraged to lead, this superstar can deliver the tough messages to others who are not putting into the necessary effort to win. So let that be. Tenacity breeds resolve. Superstar are tenacious, they just don't quit. Team-focused superstars led by example. Their gear drops off and the rest of the team. Accepting defeat is not in vocabulary. Teammates quickly learn that you don't quit until the whistle blows, buzzer sounds, or the last out is in the books. So we just do not stop. We work and move next. The resilient superstar makes the team tougher. The best of the best bounce back from the adversity. The resilience of a superstar leader sets a certain tone on the teams that play on when knocked down, you come up swinging. This type of mental and physical toughness, when it's exhibited by a superstar, impels their teammates to find a similar strength within themselves. And always remember that you think big, you get big. And that means that big thinkers know no bounds. Nothing like a teams will win more than small thinkers. The conservative tendencies of a coach or the small mindedness of some key players can quickly bring a team down, unless it is an offset by big thinking superstar leader that dares to share their dreams of championship and can convince their teammates to do whatever it takes to make those dreams come true. Most of us have been affected by small-minded thinking in the workplace. I've seen a manager keep their firm from growing simply because he didn't think the firm had what it takes to move up market. When people like that gain the ear of the president or CEO, small-mindedness becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. We must encourage and support the big thinkers that they want that will lead an organization to bigger and better prospects. We need to understand that if it's even sounds unrealistic, that doesn't mean that we cannot do it. So always motivate your teammate to think big, to create something impossible, and they will be then they will come to you with the better ideas, and then you will have just benefits from it. On this is the end. So thank you very much for your attention, for your activities. Any questions?
There is only comments in our chat. For example, Rashad thanks you for the webinar.
Thank you so much. Anything you will have, maybe perhaps not right now, but you can find me on LinkedIn. Just ping me, write me, and we will have a discussion together, so no problem. I will be more than happy for your feedback. So what books do you recommend to read? You know what? I do not like business literature at all. So let's be honest, the best book, the best trilogy that I recommend for everyone is Theodore Dreiser. It's fine. I do not know how actually it's in English because I read it in Ukrainian. So just Google Theodore Dreiser financial, something like that. It's about financial startups, etc., and about how actually your own character creates you, and how not to stop whenever you have any of the hard times. And one more book that actually always impacts me is, right now I'm working in fintech technologies. So fintech is a great book. It shows you so many other ways. So I recommend it also. Levels and leaders it last. Yeah. It's also interesting. I never heard about the book Leaders Eat Last, but I will Google it also. Maybe I will find it and buy it. I also like the book How to Lead Cats. It's really cool. It's very interesting. So I recommend it. Thank you very much, everyone, for your comments. Thank you, Marco. I think this is one of my first bosses was here. Okay.
I'd also like to thank you, Marta, for this great presentation, great insights. We'll also send this presentation and the record of today's event for the email we've got during the registration. So thanks to all for participating.
Yeah, thank you very much. And have a great evening. I'm sorry if I took more of your time, but my bad. I never can stop talking about team leadership. Okay, thank you, Alexandra. I think that we can close it. Yes?
Yes. Everyone, have a nice evening and see you at our next events.
Bye-bye. Have a great day. Bye.